to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Thomas Frank Go Fuck Yourself. I am Sam, joining me, it's Stefan.
Wow, we're going straight to the start like that. Okay, cool. I agree, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you agree now. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this being nice to people who suddenly come around to my way of thinking. This whole criticising me, being shitty to me for months and then going, you know what? Actually, he is a cunt. You're right. Wow. It's like, yeah, I know. You wouldn't believe the emails
I stand by
I've
what
had.
I said. When we first hired him, I was excited. And then everything since then has proven to me that I was wrong.
Yes, so sorry, hang on a second. Your wife asked me to clip that if you ever said that. I was wrong. There we go. Yeah,
It's like when I got all excited for the sequel Star Wars films. I went to the cinema at midnight, watched episode 7, and wish I'd never gone. It's that all over again.
Well, see, I didn't mind episode 7. I thought it threaded the needle between nostalgia and setting up new characters. I mean, it's literally a reworking of episode 4, but I think that was deliberate. I then, however, feel it did lack something going forward. But that aside, because that's a whole other podcast, I've got to the point where I am now starting to think the only thing that is going to there's only two things that's going to fix our football club, and that is the owners selling it to someone who actually wants to have a football club and run it like a football club, or us getting relegated. Because then you're forced to change, like you're forced to do so. Like there's nothing, like if we go down this season, I work through that squad with me, most if not all are gone.
God, yeah. And the scary thing is right now, if you look at the league table, the relegation part genuinely feels like there's a better chance that can happen than the owners selling it.
Well, again, and this is kind of funny to me. So, I said when we appointed Thomas Frank, I didn't like him. Like, as in, like, I just couldn't warm. I didn't like his personality, anything I ever saw. But I'm hoping I won't. Like, I was just kind of like, but you know, so everything I'm thinking is probably a bias because I don't like him. I soon learned that no, he really is as bad as what I thought he was going to be. I think we as a football club are suffering for the ineptitude, the stupidity, the sheer moronic sense of entitlement our owners have around making decisions for a football club when none of them understand football. Daniel Levy ran this club for best part of 25 years before being ousted in the summer.
Yeah.
In his tenure, he made continual bonehead managerial changes. But the one thing he did do, which I can't believe I'm saying this, I currently miss him for, is when he realised he fucked up, is he changed it again.
Yeah, in fairness.
Our current regime, which I'm going to call them the regime, because, you know, it inspires all the fascist connotations, are sat there doing fuck all. They remind me of the orchestra on the Titanic right now, where they are playing their little songs, having a good time, all dressed fancy, while the fucking boat sinks. And they're doing nothing. Like, as we record this, it is the 407th of January. This is how it feels.
It does feel it, doesn't it?
And we are days away from the transfer window closing. By the time people are listening to this, it's going to be even closer. So, in this window, which... Because this is the thing, like, everyone trying to remember, what the rebranded ownership said, the Lewis family. I'm going to paraphrase this, but they said, following that success in Bilbao, we, the Lewis family, want more of that. So we are going to put funds in. Because remember, these people, and I'm being polite calling them people, rejected 3 different takeover bids once they ousted Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
3 different consortiums with 3 different visions of what this football club could be got rejected because they were saying, no, we are going to run this club properly. We've got rid of Daniel Levy. We think he was running it like a business, which is great. By the way, running it for them as a business. Don't be fooled. They are the same
It's
bloody
the same
people.
owners. It's just a different name.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, we're going to put money in. They opened up 100 million tranche that they put in, all this kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, let's sit back and see what you do. I said on this podcast a while ago, and I said it in our group chat behind the scenes, the proof is always actions over words. It always is.
Yeah.
So you can say all this flowery stuff about we're going to buy players, we're going to put money in, we want success, we want to do this, we want to do that. But then when it comes to the January transfer window, the guy put in charge of our transfers was Fabio Paratici.
Yep.
Who has quit. This is not the first time a director of football at our football club has looked around, realised the shit state of the ownership, and has gone, nah, I'm alright, I'll go.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Now, the real stories behind things are probably never going to be known because there's the club story, the individual story, and then probably the truth sits somewhere in between. There's some very good journalism out there, but of course journalism on these type of things are always based on hearsay, based on third-party accounts, etc.
Yeah.
But I remember some time ago, one of the highest, most sought-after individuals as a recruitment head director of football was a guy with the surname of Mitchell, who had been working at Southampton with a coach called Pochettino.
Yep.
Mitchell was largely credited with the recruitment of the Southampton team, which under Pochettino was punching well above their weight. And that recruitment wasn't just for players to join the first team, but also youth recruitment. Because youth recruitment is something this club, for the longest time, completely overlooked. Which is fine, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
So he came in with a data-driven analysis model for recruitment. He was brought in under the recommendation of Pochettino, who said, no, if you can get that guy here as well, it will make a massive difference to this football club.
Yeah.
He came in, He had one full window working with Daniel Levy and handed in his notice. He would rather sit on gardening leave for his contract duration than work another day under the regime of Tottenham Hotspur. And that was what he did. He literally, his career could have ended that day. It didn't. He's gone on to have a brilliant career, lots of different clubs.
Yeah.
The reason why, and this is where we get into his story, the club story, and then the truth. The club said he was identifying players that the club simply could not afford. Therefore, the club simply told him, no, you're identifying people we can't afford. His version is the club could afford, simply refused to, because he was able to do deals and do stuff with clubs which Daniel Levy didn't want to do. So, for example, there was a player in France, Martial. Pochettino really wanted him, could see him as being a great player for Spurs. Mm-hmm. He ended up going to Man United later in the same window. We had a deal agreed for 12-something million, but with add-ons it would have taken it up to 30 if he hit certain goals. But the 12 and a bit million needed to be paid in one go. Daniel Levy wanted to pay 12 and a bit million over 5 years.
Oh, we've heard that story before, haven't we?
Yeah, so this isn't surprising. This isn't anything like that. They said no. They're like, no, because we value the player higher. Man United signed in later in that same window for 30-something million with add-ons taking it up to about 40. Because during that window, he scored something like 8 goals in France. Now, his career at Man United didn't work out, and God knows where he is now. But my point is that is just one example. Now, there were others as well. In that same window, I think there were 5 examples of Mitchell finding the right player that ticked all the boxes, using all the data analysis that Brighton and Brentford and these other clubs then copied, because he was ahead of all of them. And by the way, we then switched to this model again to copy Brighton and Brentford, etc., which is just want to drive your fucking head through a wall when you think about it. And he then went to worked his way down through the list until there was a player that the club were willing to buy and afford. And all of that happened in the last week of the window because Daniel Levy wanted to wait, because by waiting he could get a bargain, drive the prices down, try and force it.
How many times did that actually work? He tried doing it pretty much every damn window. How many times did that actually work?
No, but do you remember the brilliant footballing minds of Nkudu? Do you remember the phenomenal defensive midfielder Stambouli? These are players signed that weren't even on the list that Mitchell submitted, but he was then told, well, this is a defensive midfielder that's available. So Daniel Levy would get phone calls from agents saying, oh, my player's available, you're looking for a defensive midfielder, that's what he is. He would then go down and say, oh, I've been offered this guy. And Mitchell would be like, no, he's no good, doesn't fit. Well, yeah, but we need one, so I'll get him in because I can't afford any of the ones you've identified. So it's no wonder he quit, right? So, look, I can't say that is exact because I can't, but just based on my experience of everything that went on, every press article, every interview with directors of football and coaches who have left, it would seem to be pretty friggin' accurate. You know, just based on the sheer volume of people saying the same stuff over and over again. So fast forward to now, Daniel Levy is gone. Someone who I would describe as one of the key obstacles to the club operating as a big club. And what I mean by operating as a big club is identifying the player you want and going and getting him. Not going, like the Jack Grealish thing is probably the most famous fuck up we made. We've made a lot of them. But he was packing his bag saying goodbye to everyone because he was a Tottenham player. Pochettino met with him. They'd gone through everything. Absolutely nailed on. Christian Eriksen was going to join Real Madrid for over £100 million. Something like 110 million, the deal, like in total, probably like 80 odd up front plus add-ons. We were getting Grealish for just under 20 million and the deal was done. Then Levy went back and dropped the fee to 12 million because Villa were in financial shit and he thought he could, do them over with it. Villa then got an investor and said the price is 40 million or fuck off. Levy fucked off. Yep. He then went back in the final days of the window saying, all right, I'll pay the 40 million. And Villa went, no, he's staying. And the player by that point was like, no, you fucked me over, I'm staying. He stayed in the Championship, came up with them, went to Man City, £100 odd million player. Yeah. Under Pochettino, I genuinely believe he would have been brilliant in that role. And, Eriksen would have gone. He wouldn't have then had the final seasons at Tottenham where we all questioned if he even wanted to play football anymore. Because he'd have been happy, he'd have got his move. We would have got a player in who was homegrown English, playing in that same position, a bit different, but also, creative in all the different ways. It was nonsensical that deal wasn't done that summer. Eriksen then got forced to stay, and and the relationship I think with Pochettino and the players became problematic, and then we all saw how that went in the end. Yeah. So with him gone, there was an opportunity. Here's an opportunity to show us that, okay, it was Daniel all along that was the problem. And it was a perfect opportunity for them to be like this rebrand, the Lewis family. Hey, Enoch, your owners were never the problem. It was that guy. That's why we got rid of him for you, You won in Bilbao and then he sacked the coach. We didn't like that, so we've stepped in. But they've absolutely fucked it.
Massive proportions.
It's beyond anything that, because I said, like, right at the start about over a few minutes ago before I went on a rant about the relegation threat. People keep telling me that I'm out of my mind. Like, I'm on Twitter, stuff like that. It's like, it isn't a problem. It's not a problem. You're being stupid. Mate, we took 3 points from the last 15 points available against teams that we really should be beating. And I know that's always a nightmare term in the Premier League, but I'm talking about Burnley, Bournemouth, West Ham, you know, the Wolves, and we took 3 points from a possible 15. We are 8 points above West Ham in the relegation zone, and our next 4 games are Manchester City, Manchester United, Newcastle, followed by Arsenal. The last game in February is Fulham away. There is a possibility, a genuine possibility, based on the form we are in, the way the players are under Frank, and the way his stupid, gaslighting, floppy-haired, chewing all the time twat features is, we don't win a point in February. You look at those fixtures, and you look at the ones that have just gone, there is a real possibility we don't win a point.
Yeah. Even like you say, even the matches like the Fulham game at the end of the month, they're on a bit of a go at the moment.
Yeah, and we are 8 points above the relegation zone. Now, if we don't pick up any points at all in February, and West Ham do manage to pick up even some, like I looked at their fixtures, and they've got, you know, it's not straightforward. No fixture for them is straightforward at the moment.
No.
But they got the possibility of a couple of wins there, definitely. You know, they've suddenly found form after beating us, of course.
Of course, you know, that seems to be what does happen the best.
Yeah, Dr. Tottenham. So, if they close that gap, well, like, at what point are people going to panic about it? Like, because I'm pointing at this, and I feel like I'm waving my arms around, just like I was when we appointed Frank, and everyone's telling me to shut up and stop being stupid. And I'm like, you're not seeing it. Our players don't want to play for him. Look at our disciplinary record this year. The players are frustrated. They're pissed off. They're kicking the shit out of people.
Out of each other. Well, out of the other team, yeah.
Yeah. Like, all of it. You can watch it. Romero is on a consistent, I am so fucking annoyed, I'm going to go up front.
He's like, either going to go up front and score a wonder goal, or he's trying to take out the opposition striker because he's pissed off.
Yeah, both more often than not. But it's
the worry I've got is Romero is playing like the guy that we first signed that was like a walking yellow red card.
Yeah,
and it's purely because he's pissed off.
Yeah,
I've held my hands up a couple of times and said, you know, I was not overly impressed by Romero's kind of aggression when he joined the team. And joined and seemed to calm him down. His disciplinary record was then a lot better. Yeah. You know, still the odd blip and stuff, but if you're a centre back, you've always got the opportunity.
He's had more. Sorry, just to interrupt on this. Hang on, just to interrupt you. He's had more yellow cards this season than he has in the previous 2.
Yeah, because he's just pissed off.
But you can see it, right? It's not just me. You can see all the players look annoyed.
I mean, look at Van der Ven.
Yeah.
Constantly looks like someone's just run over his dog.
Well, John Wick in it. Yeah, it is absolutely atrocious, the situation we're in, and we are in free fall. And there are only certain things you can do to try and get yourself out of it. And someone posted the other day on Twitter, and it's like triggered the memory of like, oh wow, yeah, you're right. And that is the last time Tottenham were in a relegation fight in January. The club changed the manager, re-signed Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, brought in Pascal Chimbonda and Wilson Palacios.
Oh mate, what a team that was! I loved that team.
And we finished. We were third from bottom, so in the actual relegation zone in January, and we finished the season 8th.
That was the season that Redknapp came in, wasn't it?
That was it. That was the managerial change.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel Levy did that because for all of his faults, and the fact is that he put us in that position. Don't, like, this isn't Levy, I forgive you, come back, because he put us in this one. He fired Ange. He hired Thomas Frank. So Daniel did this. But like I said, the one thing I will say about him is he had the bollocks to go, yeah, this ain't working.
God, what was
like,
the game? I think it was the West Ham match where the fans really turned on him. That would have been, like, if not before, that would have been the point normally where Daniel Levy goes, yep, okay.
Yeah, goodbye. Like, no, I think this season it would have been the Arsenal game. I think we were so abjectly awful where we didn't even go there to fight. We didn't even go there to try. We just went there to sit inside our box.
Yep.
I think he'd have fired him after that. He'd just gone, yeah, you clearly can't do this job. But we were then abjectly poor constantly since then, and the board just sit there and watch.
It was the Chelsea game with like 0.0 whatever it was.
Yeah,
XG
the XG stat. Yeah, massive fan. So I honestly have got no idea what is keeping Thomas Frank in that job. Like, I cannot understand what the mentality is where they're just keeping him. Like, the overall feeling amongst people with links into the club is they can't find anyone. There is no one available who's willing to come in and take over, and they don't want to appoint an interim. Now, I don't, like I said, the band on the Titanic, you know, the fiddler while Rome burns, I don't understand this mentality of doing nothing and expecting something to magically change.
Well, is it the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results?
Yeah. Like, and what makes it, for me, makes it a million times worse is the media are so up Thomas Frank's ass. They are basically fondling the guy and tonguing his taint every fucking time they do a press conference. And I can't understand why. What is this guy? Like, what has he managed to achieve? And what has he done in the game of football that every single journalist worships him and every pundit thinks he's some messiah of a coach? I had to sit through Monday Night Football.
The exact opposite of what Ange had. Now, a lot of the fans loved Ange. A lot of the fans hated Ange. He was very much a kind of Marmite sort of by the end.
Vegemite, but yes.
Vegemite, of course, yeah. But he never got on with the press at all. He was a bit prickly. He came out with his famous, I always win a trophy stuff. And the press kind of went, arrogant Aussie. Right, we don't like you. Whereas Thomas Frank seems to be, he's a well-mannered Danishman. He's a lovely bloke. All that time he was at Brentford, he never said anything to the press. He was always very friendly, very open, and therefore the press all now love him. But they all seem to also be like, no, guys, you're missing the point. He's doing crap.
See, here's the thing on that is I used to see him post-match, pre-match interviews and stuff. Is why I didn't like him. Like, I always thought he came across as an absolute twat. Now, I know you didn't. You thought he came across well. But I think the only reason why you had that opinion and the only reason why the press had that opinion, I'm starting to think the only reason Daniel Levy had that opinion is because he used to go on podcasts.
Yeah. Yes,
he used to go on and talk football
admitted
with people.
He did a couple of podcasts with the Gary Lineker podcast. Yeah. And he used to talk on there and he spoke well and everything was kind of, this guy sounds like he kind of knows what he's doing. Yeah. This is pretty good.
Yeah, right. So when you're at Brentford, right?
Yeah.
If you beat Man United, you're a fucking genius. What a coach you are. What an amazing job you're doing.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, isn't it? Like, you get a good result in the Premier League at Brentford as Thomas Frank. The media praise the shit out of you.
Consistently mid-table, not even worried about relegation, aren't they doing well?
If he then loses the next 2 games to Wolves and West Ham, no one's ripping him apart. No one's tearing him down. No one's saying, well, hang on a minute, how can you win that game and then lose that game? It's just fine. Because there is zero expectation, and this isn't a dig at Brentford. I like that club. This isn't a dig at anyone, but there's just zero expectation. It's not the same job.
No.
At Tottenham, if you beat Man United in this modern setting, good, well done. Now we'll go win the next one. and then you go and lose the Wolves, you go and lose the West Ham. That is a problem. That is an issue. And to hear him week after week try and gaslight us as a fan base that things are going so much better, everything's improving, just the results aren't there yet.
Do you know, that's probably one of the things that is on my wick the most. The constant being told, yeah, but things are getting better, aren't they? And it's like, no, we just lost to West Ham and drew to Burnley. That is the absolute opposite of things improving.
But like I said, like, it is the definition of gaslighting. I am watching this, my eyes, my brain, everything. I am seeing how shit it is and how we are literally only scoring goals through set pieces, like I said so many months ago, or an individual doing something. Yeah. And the fact that our top goal scorers are our two central defenders, surely to God, everyone must realise that, like, that's not okay. Like, this whole situation, there is no attacking plan, there is no format, there is no structure, there is no freedom away from, like, being defensive minded drones to actually go and do something. And the only time we look good, or the only time we look like we're doing, like Dortmund, we looked good because Dortmund arrived thinking they were going to fucking hammer us and got caught because we went at them quick early on and our players were running all over the place, and then Dortmund had a player sent off and everyone's like, oh yeah, but like clearly the players are still playing for them, clearly all of this. Well, watch the second half of that game against 10 men where they sat back and did fuck all for the rest of the match.
Yep.
Realise that the individuals in that game pushed that game forward. It is a nonsense. Like, Dortmund arrived open as you can ever be against us. No Premier League team's going to do that. Even the top sides, Man City, Arsenal, and everyone else, going to look at us and just be like, as long as we're closed in midfield, they're fucked. Yeah. Everybody knows it. Like, the analysis that goes on in Premier League level football is second to none. And anyone can look at us and go, they're so easily beatable. I mean, Burnley should have beaten us. If not for Romero just going up front and grabbing a goal and being so fucking annoyed about he had to do it again, nearly putting his foot through an advertising hoarding and then having to limp off because of it, which really worried me. Yeah. But apparently he's okay.
They reckoned it was a calf cramp or something, but when he kicked the hoarding and then started limping, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been like so Tottenham as well, wouldn't it? Like, oh, QT Romero is out for the rest of the season with a broken foot because he was so fucking angry that once again he had to put himself up front to score. It's so bad. Like, it is so bad, and yet he is still in charge. We're going to Frankfurt tonight. Now, we got every chance of making it through to the next thing of the Champions League, but we are missing 14 first-team players tonight.
That's nuts, isn't it?
That is not all on Thomas Frank. Absolutely it's not. There is something inherently bad. Oh, don't. But okay, let's touch on that. The media, like I was talking about a minute ago, the way they treated Ange was shit because he had an Australian accent, and Aussies aren't football people, and they treated him like shit. Even the journalists who claim to like, oh, you know, I wouldn't like that. They should really look at how they wrote about him compared to how they write about Thomas Frank. Because even if they didn't realise it, there was a bias there that was appalling. Jamie Carragher, absolute fucking asshole. Yep. Monday Night Football saying that Tottenham fans, you know, you're asking for Thomas Frank out, but you just got to look at how well they played against Dortmund to know the players are backing him and all this crap. Under Ange, he was calling for Ange to be sacked every week, even when we won. Oh, that's just not how you play football. He used to write Telegraph articles about how stupid he was for never changing and all this. Oh, always win a trophy. And then when Ange did win a trophy, like, laughs along, like, ha ha, I was wrong then, ha. Like, you spent a season telling every Tottenham fan how shit it is, and it does have an impact. Oh, like, yeah. You watch a game of football with the commentary on, they influence you massively. How many times does Gary Neville have to talk about QT Romero's disciplinary record? Oh, Romero's done him there. He's done him there. He's like that. He's that type of player. And yet I watch a Man United player literally try to snap a guy in half the other day, and I got the same Gary Neville going, oh yeah, but you can see the ball was there, and so he was trying to get the ball, but he just had his foot in his nuts. You know, that's just bad timing. It's bad timing. It, like, the way that you can be influenced by what the pundits are saying, what the commentators are saying, is massive. And they just decided, oh, he's an Aussie, his face don't fit, we're going to tell everyone he's a cunt. And then you got Thomas Frank. They've all decided he's a media darling because he does their little podcasts. He talks well about, oh yeah, tactically do this, tactically do that. And yet no one's actually paying attention to the fact he is doing a shit, awful job.
Yeah.
It's appalling. Brentford, the club he was doing amazing at, are above us in the league. And the guy who's currently in charge was, I think someone told me he was his set pieces coach.
Yes, that's it.
Wow. Like, so Brentford have got a style and identity, had nothing to do with Thomas Frank and everything to do with the club being well run. Our club is not well run. It has not been well run for a long time, and we are reaping the whirlwind of it being run so fucking badly. And now we've got this absolute cretin in charge, and they're not making a change. What is Vinay doing other than sitting there in his Arsenal pyjamas laughing? I got no idea. No idea whatsoever what that man is doing. What is his job role? What exactly, other than talking to the press every now and again? Johan Lang, mate, you're going to do a transfer window rap and you're going to try and gaslight us again into saying, oh, you know, we had some areas we wanted to strengthen. We brought in Gallagher, you know, brought in Souza, left back. You know, we're really happy with these additions. And we're all going to be like, what?
I mean, I'm genuinely quite looking forward to seeing what he does with his little roundup, because how he's going to try and spin this to look like a good window, I really don't know.
What worries me is I don't think they do spin it anymore, because Thomas Frank is literally sitting in press conferences in front of the media and is saying everything's getting better, just not the results, and the media are lapping it up. They're writing articles like, oh, you know, yeah, Thomas Frank mentioned this, and yeah, the possession stat, you know, start of the season Tottenham were getting like 30-40%, and now it's like 48-50. Wow. I'm so happy. Honestly, we keep the ball more. That's really good.
Don't do anything with it.
Do we score goals? Do we win games? No? Okay, yay. We've gone from being really shit without the ball to really shit with the ball half the time. Wow, what an improvement. And they're saying, I mean, you got to feel for him because of the injuries. Last season, injuries aren't an excuse. This manager just doesn't change. So it's his fault.
Yeah.
It is like...
It's the same people on social media that are saying each thing as well, which is quite funny.
Yeah. It is... The cognitive dissonance, it's like a politics. It's like this kind of team sport mentality, but we're one club. Like, this is Tottenham Hotspur. We're all fans of the same club. Like, surely to God you will realise that, like, this is awful. It's just so bad, and I'm so wound up. I'm so fed up of, like, this pandering crap. Like, what has he ever done? What has he ever achieved that he deserves this kind of time at our club? And what kind of abject hatred for our fan base must our owners have that they just listen to us being disangry, disupset, the stadium being that hostile, and just sit there thinking, fuck them, we don't care.
It's getting better though, yeah.
But it's not. Like, it's not in under any metric of things. So, do I think relegation's a problem? Up until they refused to sack him, I was thinking, well, when they get rid of him, we will hopefully get someone in who lifts everybody, and then we'll put a bit of a run together because the table's quite congested, and just a bit of a run will see us okay.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the fixtures ahead of us, I don't think they're going to sack him. Clearly, why would they when we've already seen things that badly? And they are just going to stick with him until the summer and then make a decision then. And by then, we really could be in the Championship. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't me just saying it for effect. Look at the fixtures. Look at the points difference. Look at what the amount we are picking up. Look at every metric available to you. We are fucked if they don't make a change. And it appears they're not going to. Like, what can we do as a fan base?
I mean, it shows that even the atmosphere in the stadium, like he came off the pitch against Burnley to the home fans singing "You're getting sacked in the morning."
Our away fans.
The away fans, sorry, getting "You're getting sacked in the morning," and then went out for lunch, had a nice meal with them. All is fine. Yeah. And I'm like, my God.
Yeah, like
it
when you
always
lose the away fans,
if you lose the fans, you're in trouble. And yet somehow.
Well, it's because they don't care. They don't care what we think. Because we're stupid. The pundits keep saying, oh, Tottenham fans, they're entitled. They're dumb. They're stupid. And so the owners are buying into that. They're buying into they don't know what they want. I'll tell them what they want. It's not that we're stupid or fickle or anything like that. It's that we have been fed shit and told it's caviar for years. And we've had a fucking enough of it. This club, under this ownership, have taken us... just flushed away everything that was good continuously until we are now just a property company with a football team at the weekends, and they don't give a shit about it.
But, Beyonce's extended her stay or something,
Well, good.
That's the bit that worries me the most, is that we have so much going on at that stadium and around the place. And it's like, but why are we not more focused on the actual football team that plays on the pitch?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, it's a genuine worry. It really is a genuine worry.
Well, it's insanity, and I joked on Twitter the other day. I just can't wait for them to come out with, "Oh, your ticket prices are going up because you got the best stadium in the Championship next year." Like you can hear it. Like you can hear them coming out with this bullshit. Yeah. Oh, because we got relegated, we all need you to chip in a bit more because times are going to be hard for a few years. But like the squad, fuck off. Like literally, I think of the entire first team squad and first year academy graduates, I think we can maybe field a team with like 10, 11 players, and then we'll be forced to be buying Championship players to try and come back up again, and then I can't even put into words how fucked this situation is and how easily unfucked it could be with the right person brought in. Like, they're doing nothing, and there are coaches, managers out there, even ones that aren't available to the summer. You can do the deal now. You can do the deal now and put an interim in place who will play decent football and coordinate with the person who's coming in the summer. And what's more, the players will have something to look forward to and to play for. They will know, okay, let's say the club go over to America right now and say, Mauricio, before ICE agents round you up and deport you, how about you leave this country and come back to Tottenham? Yeah, I said it.
Yep.
And he says, well, I got to do the World Cup, but the minute that's over, the minute the USA are out, I'm done, my contract's up, I'll be straight home. And it is home because he lives up the road.
Yep.
And they do the deal. It gets announced. They announce it. Mauricio Pochettino is going to return to Tottenham this summer after the World Cup. He then can ring every player in that squad and be like, right, I'm watching. I want to see something from you. Frank is fired. I don't give a fuck if they give it to one of the... I don't care who comes in. Hell, right now, bring back Ryan Mason, give him the job, and he'll be a coach under Pochettino again. Whatever.
Yep.
Someone who has the ability to communicate and to say to them, this, what we're doing right now, is shite. And we are going to go back to playing some frigging football. And we are going to play football. We're going to play football going forward. And we're going to win. And we're going to win games. And we're going to sort this shit out. And then in the summer, Dad's home. Yeah. We sort this shit out. But they're not. And while they're not doing that, other clubs are making their moves. Manchester United sacked Ruben Amorim.
Yep.
They put Michael Carrick in charge. His first 2 games in charge of Manchester United were the Manchester Derby against Man City and then Arsenal. He won both of them.
Yeah.
He is not a tactical messiah genius. But the whole squad, all those players, had a lift of, oh, thank God that asshole's gone.
They had the lift of, oh, Bruno Fernandes, you're a number 10. Can you go play in a number 10 role for me, please?
Yeah.
You know, all Carrick did was put the players in their correct positions and reminded them, you play for Man United.
You play with a freedom.
Is a manager to come in who understands Tottenham and go, you are playing for that badge on your chest. We play an attacking style of football. Go out there and play for Tottenham.
Play football, please. Don't do this rigid shit that you've been doing. And it's amazing the difference it can happen. Like, you look at it and you look at the difference that's made. Now, don't get me wrong. If they start losing the teams, like, then you realise purely down to player motivation of the 2 massive games they had. But that's still fine. Like, that's still the impact that has made and the confidence those players now have got is through the roof. And they also know that the club are working to appoint a new manager, so they all are playing for their place. Yeah. They are all playing for whoever's going to be coming in is watching. Yeah. I need to show that I'm here and I want to be here. And I want to be going like Kobe Mainoo, completely dismissed under he looks like a young player possessed again under Carrick, because he knows he's playing for his career at Manchester United. That's where he wants to be. Yeah. At Tottenham, there might be some players in amongst our squad who don't get that lift. They don't get anything. And guess what? The minute the manager comes in, they're gone. Because you'll know they're not there to play for the club. There are certain players at the club right now who, through rumour and innuendo, I know are already looking at exits. There are players who are openly so fed up with the way they're being treated, the way they're being forced to play, that they are in talks with other clubs to leave. Maybe not this window, but in the summer. Yeah. So it doesn't matter who the manager is going to be. They're done because they've had enough. They've had a guts full. And some of these players haven't even been there that long, but they've walked in thinking one thing and, oh shit, this is what it is. Conor Gallagher's arrived. Conor Gallagher's arrived from Atletico Madrid. He's not quite up to match fitness. He said it himself in an interview. He needs game time, which is fine. I understand that. Yep. But he's come into a side and he's looking like, I don't know if you've seen this, but I was looking at him, his body language, the games he's played. He looks completely shocked. Like he's looking around at his teammates like, what the fuck? I joined.
Why are you losing the second ball so easily? Like, what is going on?
He just looks bereft. Like, kind of, I know, I'm not up to speed yet, but seriously, guys, like this is not good. You got Pedro Porro, who's managed to maintain his fitness for 3 years, playing handball, which apparently cripples players for life. What a load of fucking nonsense! And now he's finally succumbed to injury. He's out with a hamstring injury for 4 weeks. He's been played into the ground even with Jed Spence fit on the bench. Yeah. Like, I don't get
Spence has now played more games as a left back and a winger than he has on his position.
He started him as left wing. Like, there are so many problems at the club, and the first one you can fix, an immediate one you can fix, is to fire Thomas Frank and get someone in who will lift every player there. I am almost at a point where I take Harry Redknapp back just as an interim to give everyone a bit of confidence. To, like, do the Harry Redknapp arm round the shoulder, come on, you're a fucking good player, let's do this.
All I can say to that is look at what has just happened with Celtic and Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill, who himself admitted he is now a fossil compared to the young managers that are managing these days. He went into a Celtic side that could not buy a victory.
Yeah, twice he's done this this season. In one season, twice.
It just proves.
It's insanity. Fuck it. Give Roy Keane the job. The guy claims to be a Tottenham fan as a kid. Like, just someone who's going to walk in and the players are going to go, shit, we better listen. Or just respect. Because they don't respect him. There's like, you've got Cuti Ramirez won the World Cup and he's looking at Thomas Frank with a look of, what? Who are you? Like, this is a nonsense. It is so bad. So bad. It was an awful idea to bring him in. It was stupid to stick with him. Now we're in a relegation fight, and I swear the argument is, well, if we go down, he'll be at his level. Like, it's the only thing that can be in their brains. Oh, well, if we go down, he'll look good in the Championship. You know, he's got experience of getting out of the Championship, so that'd be good.
Oh, that's true. That is true, yeah.
I can't be the only one this fed up. Like, this is... Like, there is a planned protest at the Manchester City game, which is our next home game this weekend. The protest is doing something which I have said for the longest time is the only thing that will work, but I think is the hardest thing to do. They are asking fans inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to leave. They are asking fans in the 75th minute to walk out, and not just to the concourse, to leave and go to a local pub, watch the rest of the game, but actually leave the stadium in the 75th minute. I think that is the only way they will act. I genuinely think that, because I think on TV, a televised match going around the world, with all of our sponsors watching, a mass walkout of the fans, they have to do something. Like, if Thomas Frank had any ounce of integrity, he'd resign, but he won't.
No,
because of the sheer financial aspect. I don't actually blame him for that, but I'm just saying you would, like, you should.
Exactly.
But the board would have to act. They would have to. The problem is, by calling for this, and then 10 people and, you know, whatever walk out, it doesn't mean shit, and it just sends the message to the board, good, no one cares.
And this is the problem.
We can carry on.
So, this has now been kind of widely spoken about enough that the board members are going to know about it.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Someone is going to have sent something to the board members and go, hey, look, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
If we now get to the 75th minute, and like you say, 100 people stand up, they're going to look around, go, no one else is leaving, and sit back down again.
Yeah, doesn't matter. If, like, visually, could you imagine the visual in the 75th minute of the South Stand emptying? Like, people leaving that stand en masse. The big cop end, devoted fans, the wall of noise, all of that shit they sold us on, and every fan, or a massive amount of fans in that stand going, do you know what? Fuck you, we're off. The problem with this, and it is a real problem, is it is not cheap to go to these games.
No.
Not just the ticket prices, but the travel, the sheer logistics.
And you are asking for
out,
the 75th minute is still a big chunk of the game.
Yeah, and imagine it's 0-0, or imagine it's 1-0, or imagine we're winning, or like, whatever.
But don't get me wrong, if we're 3-0 down, I can imagine it happening.
But this is the problem. Like, this is the thing. I don't ever want us to lose. I can't go into a game wanting us to lose. However, against Manchester City, given the title race, given the fact I want Thomas Frank sacked, if we are 3-0 down, I'll be okay with that. Like, that on that particular game, I mean, that's probably the game we're going to win, and I'll hate him even more for it. But my point on this is really simple. If you're going to the game this weekend against Manchester City, go to our Facebook page and find the protest arrangement. If you don't want to leave in the 75th minute, I don't blame you for that. But if we are getting hammered and dicked and played off the park, and you were sat there or stood there so wound up by it, then consider it. Because you may, and like I just said then, even if 10, 20, 30, 100 people walk out, it may feel stupid. It may get branded stupid. It may get branded as a failure. But you doing that will send a signal to everyone around you. Everyone sort of like, oh, why so-and-so leave? Why are you leaving? Protest, 75th minute. This club's being run like shit. We're walking out.
Yep.
you might inspire others to do it. You might inspire others to be a part of it. If you don't want to walk out in the 75th minute, there's a march before the game. There's so many different aspects you can be involved in. Please, please, please do get involved, because there is the only way you're going to wake this club up. Now, there might be people listening to this who are perfectly happy, which I would find amazing given the situation we're in. And in which case, I apologise for being so wound up and irate. But the fact is, nothing's going to change unless we force them. You can sense it, you can feel it. Now, the change for Tottenham Group last season had a march of thousands, because there was a real feeling that Daniel Levy was holding us as a football club back. Yep. And that feeling had grown over 25 years to the point that thousands were ready to ask him to go. Once he went, the Lewis family, rebranded, still Enoch, bought themselves some time. This group, Change for Tottenham, that organised all that, waited until halfway through January before saying, "Nah, this, like, we've given you chance, like you've lied to us," and that's why people need to act, because it wasn't like we're just protesting for protest's sake. It isn't like we're just unhappy, we're not winning enough games, the board needs to change. This is 25 years of this ownership, the same ownership. Yes, we focused on Levy, and yes, he's gone, but nothing's changed. There is no sign whatsoever to us as a football team that things are improving and things are getting better. There are no grass shoots. There's nothing there. And so this group have given them chance, midway through January, to show us some ambition. And all they've done is sign a youth player from Brazil that no one's ever heard of.
I must be honest, that was a proper Danny Rose moment.
We all up to Danny Rose's ass, back to the days of Googling the signings. And we signed Conor Gallagher because we found out that we had 3 central midfielders go down injured in the same week, and he was going to Aston Villa, very close to, so we hijacked it. Because we'd scouted him previously for Ange.
Yeah.
He wasn't a player Frank wanted. Don't buy into that bullshit. Thomas Frank rang him and talked him into coming.
No, he didn't. He
didn't talk him into shit.
He wearing Spurs pyjamas. He wanted to come here last time.
It was nonsensical, and people lap that shit up. All we've done in this window is be reactive. Where was the plan? Where was these are the deals we're looking to do? Why is it that we go into a transfer window and it opens and we're like, right, we best start looking around then? It's a nonsense. When that window opens, deals should be getting announced.
You should already have 4 to 5 players lined up,
it should be
ready
done.
To go, right, okay, so we want this person,
you listen,
we want this person.
You listen to everyone talk about the January transfer window, this whole kind of, it's difficult. Okay, fine, I'll accept that. I don't work in the football. Enough people who do say it's a difficult window. The one thing I see consistently from clubs is, in the January window especially, you need to be able to line up a replacement, or you need to be able to do this, and it's difficult. Because clubs who are fighting relegation or fighting for titles or whatever don't want to let people go because of potential injuries, stuff like that.
Yep.
So they are conscious of So let's say before January even starts, you contact the club and you say, right, we want to buy this player in January. They're like, oh, we're not sure. Look, what's the price? Because we're willing to pay it. Oh, the price could be 20 million in January. Right, fine. We will pay that. You now go find your replacement. So that way at the start of January, we can go, you can go, we get this done, sort of thing. Instead, we get into January and we go, how much for so-and-so? Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, all right, cheers.
Yeah, why are you back to so much? Because we need a replacement. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we go back to them with like a few days left and go, all right, fine, we'll give you the money. And they go, no, we ain't got time to replace him now. And then they leak that shit to the press.
Mark Gahey.
There we go. Last January, I was about to use that as the example.
Yeah.
How much did we bid for Mark Gahey? Do you remember?
90 odd million or something stupid.
No, 70 million quid.
Yeah.
Okay, since we made that bid, can you think of us spending 70 million on a defender or anyone?
I can't think of us spending 70 million on a defender ever.
No, we've never spent that money.
But he is
in the summer,
Manchester City for 20 rising to 30.
Yeah. in the summer, who Savinho,
Yep.
75 million deal. Didn't happen because Man City didn't want to sell, but we were there. We were ready to pay the money. Where's that money gone?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I
don't remember signing
like,
someone.
if apparently we have this money to make these kind of bids and stuff.
Yeah.
Where is this money after the rejected bid?
It's a lie. I have always thought it was a Daniel Levy tactic, and maybe it was. And maybe the club are just so used to doing this same shit now, it's just going to continue. But we would always have players, we nearly... I mean, our nearly signed 11
Oh, man,
is
it's
world class.
incredible.
Yeah. But this whole thing of, we're nearly there, we're nearly... on the deadline day,
Something
Tottenham
fell
came
apart.
in for so-and-so. And they do it deliberately. They do it to gaslight us as a fan base into thinking they've got ambition. Ambition's making that bid on the 1st of January. Ambition is going to Crystal Palace and saying, right, I know you don't want to lose him for free. How much for now? 1st of January. And then going to Mark Gahey and going, right, Mark, we want you to be a central defender for Tottenham Hotspur. I know you've got your doubts because you've got other clubs in your ear, but you are going to earn this. You are going to do this. We'll do this, and sell the freaking thing to him. Like, just go and blow everyone out of the water on the first day of the window. That was a central defender, English, homegrown, born and bred in London, and now he's playing for Manchester City. That could have been a deal done there, but it wasn't. And just this what it is, right? It's fine. That's fine. The player wanted to go to Liverpool, remember? Didn't want to sign to Tottenham last year. He's definitely going to Liverpool, 100%. He's set his heart on, Man City or what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Money. Like, these footballers, these agents, they're managers, for all the sentiment and all the side of it of like, yeah, I'd like to go play for that club. If someone else comes along and goes, right, what are they offering you? Yeah, we'll match that. You don't have to move house. Your family's still here. Everyone's still here that you love.
Yeah.
And here's a fuckload of bonuses, and here's this, and here's this. These are our plans. Come join us. And that brings me to the last thing, which is what I got told the other day. So a friend of mine is a football scout, works within the industry. He's been a friend of mine for 20, 30 years now. He's someone I've known from school. And he said this to me, and the minute he said it, my heart sank, but also I knew. Like, it was like I already knew, but hearing him say it just kind of hammered me. And that is the talk within the industry and the talk within football is that who in their right mind would sign for Tottenham right now?
Yeah. I mean, the club is pretty much a mess from top to bottom right now.
Right?
You're almost guaranteed that the manager you signed for is not going to be there in the summer.
So I wrote down 3 things he said to me, okay?
Okay.
Tottenham, Thomas Frank doesn't like Vicario, and apparently it's mutual, they don't get on.
Yep.
So Vicario is looking for another club. You'll see him linked to Inter Milan a lot.
Yep.
That is genuine. Like, that in the summer, I genuinely think he's going to leave and go there. So the club have been looking to see if there's a possibility of doing that deal in January, at the start of the month. Because Vicario wants to leave, Thomas Frank doesn't want him, and the club have decided to change the goalkeeper. They approached 2 different goalkeepers that they deemed of a standard. Both of them rejected the club, both citing, your own fans are booing your own goalkeeper, why would I sign for you?
Yeah.
Where was the support? Where was the things are so toxic at your club right now? No thanks.
You can't blame them.
The second thing on my list is Tottenham were trying to identify a left back to come in. They worked their way through 4 different players, and all of them refused on the basis that there's no strategy or coherent footballing style at Tottenham Hotspur. As in, I'm an attacking left back and the style you're playing is the polar opposite of me. So no.
Yeah.
Also, combined with someone else, I'm a very defensive left back. that's not a Tottenham way, and you're going to sack the current manager at some point, and then what happens to me?
Yep.
Now, there's a problem there. If you can't sign an attacking one because the current coach is shite and doesn't play that style of football, and you can't sign a defensive one for the current coach because they know he'll get sacked at some point and Tottenham will go back to being Tottenham, who can you sign? A 19-year-old from Brazil who's desperate to get an English visa.
Yeah, I just want to play in the Premiership because that's where the best players play.
It's where the money is.
Well, yeah.
And you can also sign a player who's probably looking for his final contract. Robertson from Liverpool.
And even that's now fallen through.
Yeah, but that's more a circumstances. Liverpool need a replacement.
They can't get something about the...
Yeah, so they got a lad on loan in
they
Italy. Yeah, they don't have a recall clause, but they did a deal where it's like, oh, can he be recalled? And the team in Italy have gone, yeah, if we can get it's dominoes. It's like the team in Italy want to sign a left back from Wolves. If they sign him, they'll let Liverpool have their player back, and then if Liverpool get him back, they'll sanction Robertson leaving. Because Robertson's contract's up in the summer, so Liverpool want to get something for him.
Yep.
And so, yeah, there's even rumours that they're going to go in for the guy at Fulham, who we were also linked with.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
So, my point on all of this is that like it is so difficult. Now, the third thing I wrote down that my friend said to me, which is, we have looked at various forwards and strikers, and apparently there's a very good goal scorer in Europe, and his agents refused to meet with us because they said they watched 10 Tottenham games this season, and the centre, whoever was playing forward, never got the ball more than twice in the entire match.
Wow.
Again, that's true.
Yeah.
And how many times have I said it? You said it. We're not there's no structure or anything. So if you're the agent and manager of a football player, a striker, and Tottenham come in right now, I don't want my player looking shit. And he's going to look shit because you're not giving him the ball.
Yeah, we said about Dom Solanke. Dom Solanke is one of the best poachers.
Yeah.
Like his reaction time and everything in the box, he is a very good... I mean, he almost reminds me a bit of like how Jermaine Defoe used to be. Just always in the right place at the right time. Don't expect him to pick the ball up on the halfway line and do a mazy run towards goal. He wants the ball put into the box and either for him or for a knockdown, and he will score.
Yep.
We don't put the ball in the box. Like, we only put the ball in the box in the last 4 minutes of a match, and normally that's because Romero's gone up there.
Yeah, it's awful. But my point is, within football, there is now a feeling of we are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be changed, and the only way that's going to change is the board act. Like, you make a managerial change, the fans will give whoever it is a chance.
Yeah.
They will. Like, they will give that person a chance to come in and make changes. And as long as you start to see positivity, it doesn't even need to be like... This is the thing I can't drive home for. Like, Tottenham lost, I think it was 4-1 to Chelsea. At home, we were reduced to 10 men. No, 9, I think. And we were injuries, but the team didn't stop playing. They were 2-1 down, and they nearly made it 2-2 before 2 late goals made it 4-1 in the scoreline difference. When the full-time whistle went, those players were held up by the fans chanting, applauding. Like, the Chelsea players, like, I remember watching the interviews after Chelsea were like, that game was nuts. Like, that game was crazy. Like, we won it 4-1, but we left the field feeling shit. Tottenham just lost 4-1, and their players are walking off like they're all 10 foot tall. That's support. That's fans.
Yeah.
And the reason why that happened is because everyone in that stadium knew that they just didn't stop. They put everything into it. Like, all the problems, the injuries that happened in that game. Like, Van der Ven went down with his first hamstring. You know what I mean? It was all... Everything went against us in that game. And they didn't stop trying to play football and nearly made it 2-2. Insanity. Like, sliding doors moments. But the fans, Tottenham fans, if you put the effort in, you try and play football, you're going to keep us. You're going to, like, the results don't need to change overnight, but if someone comes in and gets us playing football again, the fans are going to go, right, okay, we're on the right track again.
Here we go.
Let's, you know, the results are come, we're on the right track. But now we are deep into the season. We are deeply heading towards the relegation zone. Every fixture coming up's a nightmare, and we need to start winning, but there's no wins available. The manager's gaslighting everyone, saying we're getting better when we're not, and our squad is decimated again. And nothing's happening. No big signings, no kind of anything that could give this team a lift. Anything. Players coming through the door would give this team a lift. Last season under Ange, when they left him short in January, was when he said, I have to focus on the Europa League. We can't go down because I haven't got the players to do both. We're fucked. This season, focusing on the Champions League instead, and we can go down. Like, we literally can be relegated this season. The bottom three clubs are all fighting, and West Ham especially.
Unlike last season, where it was the three clubs that went up, all went straight back down. There was no risk. This season, there are at least one, maybe two clubs now, because Wolves, I think, are having a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah.
And there is a genuine, I can't believe I'm saying it, there is a genuine risk.
It is beyond genuine risk, mate. It is a real possibility. And if in February we lose those games, which on paper right now we're going to lose all of them and lose them badly, come March, we are in a relegation fight. Come March, we are, and at that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
At that point, making a change, who's going to want to come in? Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Tony Pulis, Sam Allardyce, someone like that. Maybe we can get Martin O'Neill from Celtic. I don't know.
Bring back Redknapp.
But like, who's going to want to do it?
Yeah.
Nobody. And like, whereas if you make the change, if we made the change 2 weeks ago, someone could have come in and gone, right, now I need a left back, I need a midfielder, go get them quick. Like, back someone. But they just doubled down. And this whole freaking thing of Vinay apparently saying behind the scenes, oh, you know, it was trouble at Arsenal under Arteta, but we stuck with him, and look how that turned out. Yeah, they weren't in a relegation battle ever. Like, the idea that him finishing 8th for 2 seasons in a row does not justify what Thomas Frank is.
No.
But anyway, right, that is our show this week. Thank you for letting me rant at all of you. This rant was largely brought to you by the sheer amount of emails I'm getting having a go at me all the time. So if you agree with me, please do me a favour and drop me a message, because I'm feeling like I'm screaming into a void here and everyone keeps telling me to shut up, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you feel that way, do that as well. But it's sam@spursnews.co.uk. You can get in touch with the podcast via message to Lovely Laura on Instagram, Delightful Dan via Facebook, Polynesian Dan, but I thought Delightful Dan sounded a bit better. But you can get in touch with all of us via any of the social media as always. I'm the one on Twitter and TikTok, so say hello there. Until next week, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.